the next workshop. I'm going to put you on recording. Oh, someone started. Where was he in the healthy habits?
Okay. Welcome everyone to the paper towel garden workshop. I'm Rachel Heath. Again, I'll be teaching this one.
And I'm Mayana Vasquez.
Okay. The benefits of gardening. It helps the body fight disease. It builds strength, promotes sleep, and helps to maintain a healthy weight. It protects memory as you age. It's a mood booster and gives connection and sense of empowerment when you go out to garden.
What can you grow? You can grow at the beginning of April. You can grow lettuce, potatoes, carrots, and parsley. And in May, you can plant celery, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, and watermelon and cantaloupe.
And this is all depending on kind of where you live in Utah. So it probably will vary how far south or how far north you are, but that's just some guidelines. Oh, that's it. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, okay. So next, we want you guys to, I'm going to explain to you about the heartbeat. We're going to do a physical activity where you have to find your pulse. So, yeah, do you want to start screen sharing?
Okay.
All right, so find your pulse on your neck, and it's usually right here.
And if you can't find it on your neck, it's also on your hand. You want to use like your first two fingers, and it's like right there. If you can find that, whatever one.
And I'm going to count for 60 seconds and count how many heartbeats you have or you can feel when I tell you that time's up. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's time. After you find out how many heartbeats you felt in these 60 seconds, I want you to times that by 10. Wait.
Yeah,
I think just
wrong. Yeah. So can you guys share how many heartbeats you had in these 60 seconds?
not times by 10 yet.
Yeah, don't times by 10 yet. Just count how many. You can share it in the chat or just tell us how many.
75 from Davis.
70, 77.
Awesome.
Sweet. 74, 78, 66, 74, 65,
82.
82, Nice. Okay.
All right, next, we're going to do the same thing except for 10 seconds. Okay, so find your pulse.
For 6 seconds. 6 again.
It's
10 for
10.
seconds.
All right, ready? Go. Okay, that's 10. Now, what you got in these 10 seconds, I want you to multiply that by 10.
Multiply by 6 for
6.
60 seconds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, multiply it by 6. And then tell us what you got.
And you got 68.
Got 71.
$102.
So this is an easier way to count your heartbeat. And instead of counting for the whole 60 seconds, you can just count for 10 and then multiply that by 6.
Or you can do it even easier by just doing it for 6 seconds and then multiplying by 10. And we can just do that right now too if you want.
All right, we are going to, I'm going to count for 6 seconds. So find your pulse again. And then start. All right, stop. And then what you got there, you times by 10. And then you can share that as well. And you'll see that your numbers will be fairly similar to the 3 different ways that we showed you how to find your heartbeat.
And the first way was a lot harder because you had to count for 60 seconds. And I don't know if you were like me, but I definitely lost count after like 30 seconds. And then the second way is a little bit harder because you're timesing everything by 6, which is a little bit harder than just timesing everything by 10. And so the easiest way is probably the last way we did. And kind of to relate this to gardening, Mayan will tell us about how certain plants will help your heart.
Yeah, so tomatoes, they are very good for your heart. They have antioxidants that can boost your heart health. They can prevent certain chronic diseases, and they lower your bad cholesterol so you can have a better blood pressure and reduce your chances of a heart attack or heart disease.
Okay, now we're gonna go do our activity of making a paper towel garden. And so we'll just go to the other room really quick. Oh wait, no, we're sitting here for this one.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You want to share now?
Yeah,
That's right.
So everyone grab Ziploc bag, just one Ziploc bag, and then one paper towel or
Yes.
2 paper towels, whatever.
1 or 2 sheets of paper towels.
And then your seeds, and then a Sharpie. And we'll give you a little bit of time to go grab those things. Oh wait, the other ambassadors need this too much. Probably. It's okay. Come on. Yeah, we'll use this one first, and then we'll use that back for the garden. Thank you.
Maybe someone's got a bottle.
Yeah, that's right.
We need water. So
Just use that first. Or this one.
Okay. Okay, is everyone, do you guys need more time getting your supplies? Or is everyone ready?
all right, they're all good. Wait. All right, we'll give you 1 more minute.
I think it works, but if you
What is
stand here, here,
Oh,
you
yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah, that works. There you go. Okay, we're gonna get started. So first off, you're gonna take your paper towel, and we're just using one sheet, and you're going to get a little bit wet so the seeds can stick to the paper towel when you put it in the Ziploc bag. And you can either use this with a water bottle, or you can use a spray bottle, or you can go to a sink and get it wet too. Everyone got that step done? Thumbs up. Okay, sweet. So now depending on what seeds you have, we have peas, squash, and carrot. Hopefully most of you guys have those. But you're just going to take 3 peas seeds and then spread them out about like 1 to 2 inches apart.
And only use half of the paper towel so you can fold the other half over.
So your end is gonna look like this, if you can see that. Except for some of these mixed together, but that's okay.
Next, you're going to get the other seeds. I'm using carrot seeds. And then put it right. Leave a little space between the pea seeds and the carrot seeds so they have room to grow. But just put it on the next row.
And then once you finish with that, you can do the squash. And you can do 3 or 2. We did 2 just because they're a little bit bigger than the other ones. And then that's all for your seeds. The book says you can use like the glue to glue it down to the paper towel. So if you want, you can do that, but we're just using water because it works that way too.
Okay, after you're done putting your seeds on your 1/2 of the paper towel, fold the other half over so both ends are touching, and then just pat it down so the seeds can be compressed between both of the towel's sides.
And so they can stick. And then everyone good with that so far? Sweet. Okay. And then you're just gonna put it into your Ziploc bag. And this is to just help before. So maybe it's like still cold outside, you can't plant yet. This will help sprout the seeds, and then when it gets time to plant, you can just open up the bag and cut the paper towel around it and then just plant it in the thing. And if some of the seeds fall out, that's okay. You can just put them in the Ziploc bag when it's done.
This is the harder part because you gotta stick something wet inside the bag, and I struggle with that part, but we got it to work. Next, you're just going to zip up the Ziploc bag, and then get a Sharpie, preferably a dark colored Sharpie so you can see it on the bag, and then write down the names of the seeds on each part of the napkin on the bag.
Along with your name too, so you don't get it mixed up with others. And what you're gonna do with these is just put it in a sunny place in your house or somewhere. Usually, preferably like next to a window, so you can just tape on the window. And then I guess it depends on your preference, but every day, kind of just open up the bag and kind of spray some water into it to keep the seeds moist.
And then it should look like this.
And yeah, that's all for the paper towel garden. I'm gonna go do the cinnamon carrot crunch activity now. Is everyone done with the paper towel garden, or do you guys need a couple extra minutes? You guys can just finish up while we're going to the next room. That's okay.
Yes, while you're finishing up, make sure you gather your supplies for the carrot crunch.
Okay. Okay, so gather your supplies for the carrot crunch. That's gonna be the next activity, and they're gonna do that over in the kitchen. And Gabe, let me give you the link to the STEM. You're supposed to be in the STEM, not this one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Do you have that already?
I think so. So is it the link on top of this one?
It's the third one down. It should say agri-science and STEM.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Um, mhm.
So Katie, you want to turn your phone the other direction, I think. They're sideways. There you go.
Okay, if everyone's ready, we'll just start. So make sure to wash your hands. Go and wash your hands before you start working with trees. Once you're done washing your hands, if you're making this food for other people, make sure you're wearing a mask just to be safe. But yeah, let's just start.
Okay, first, we are starting with the ingredients, of course. We are going to need 4 medium carrots, and we are going to grate them, and we are going to chop them.
But we're gonna peel them first.
Make sure you wash your vegetables beforehand. We already washed our vegetables, so make sure yours are too.
And you can do this with us, or you can do it after our thing, whatever you want. But yeah, we'll just start peeling the carrots into a garbage.
Sorry, but what recipe are we doing?
This is the cinnamon carrot crunch. Is that what you asked?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I guess while you guys are getting the ingredients ready, does anyone want to share an experience about gardening they've had, or maybe like what they're planning on planting this year?
Okay. Next, we are going to chop the ends off of the carrot. Just the bad parts, because we don't want to eat those.
Okay, and after that,
We are going to chop the celery into smaller pieces. So first you have to cut down the middle of the celery. lengthwise. And then just make it like finely chopped so you don't get a big chunk of celery in your crunch. And then you just cut those smaller. Be careful when you are cutting the vegetables because you don't want to cut yourself. So make sure the knife in your hand are clear from the knife splitter.
And make sure you're having like a claw grip. So when you're cutting, you're not getting your fingers.
Celery aside on the cutting board, and then start with the apples. First, we are going to cut the carrots. So wait for the apples. Cut the carrots smaller.
Kind of what you're doing with the celery. Okay, so just for the sake of time, we're not going to cut everything at the same time, but just once you're done cutting your carrots and your celery, put it in the bowl, and then we'll just cut an apple to show you. If you have an apple core, use it, but because we don't, we're just going to cut the apple into 4 quarters, and then we'll just kind of scoop out this.
Next, I'm going to show you guys how you need to cut your lemon. So just cut it in half, or use lemon juice. Either way, it'll work. And then you're going to use that 1/2 of lemon and just squeeze it in the bowl as much as you can get out of there.
And once you're done coring the apple, you can just cut it into smaller slices and then just chop it, just like what we've been doing with the celery and the carrots. Yeah. Then you'll put your carrots into the bowl.
Next, I'm going to show you guys. So you need 3/4 cup of raisins, but I have a 1/4, so I can just do 3 1/4.
And these raisins were supposed to be soaked in water overnight.
Yes.
But don't worry about it if you weren't able to. You can still put them in.
please, let's go down a little bit.
Are there any questions or are we going too fast for anyone? We'll just give you more time at the end to finish, but we'll just kind of give you the rundown of like what else to do before.
All right, you are also going to use, first you're gonna wash out your 3/4 cup. And then get 3/4 yogurt.
And for that, you're just gonna do a 1/4 cup. You can do 3 1/4 cups, or you can just do 1/4 and then a 1/2 cup. And then after you're done with that, grab your cinnamon, and then just measure out a teaspoon. And you're just gonna put that in, and you're just gonna stir it together. You can. This is after all your ingredients are in. And then once you've stirred it and combined it, there's a layer of cinnamon and yogurt on all of your ingredients. And then you're just gonna chill it in the fridge, and you can probably eat it at lunchtime with your pizza. Okay, we'll just give you 5 to 10 minutes to finish up the recipe, so you can kind of just go and do it at your own pace. Is there any questions or any comments about gardening or using like the plants that you've grown in cooking?
How much lemon juice did we put in?
The half of 1 lemon, so that would be just 1 tablespoon.
A tablespoon of lemon juice. And how
Yes.
much yogurt?
3/4 cup.
3/4 cup, thank you.
Okay. Sweet, thank you guys for participating. Hopefully it tastes good. We'll finish this up.
Okay, so you're going to give you 5-10 minutes to work and then sample and taste your product to see what you think. And we will join back in and start the next workshop in about 10 minutes. I'm going to stop the recording.